Hello again, I am Zarkon. In this video I'm going to explain these templates that are being forced upon us and explain the impact they have on us and our free will. So without further ado, let us begin. The human templates and the abandonment of free will. Society is not set up to encourage true independent thought. In fact, everything is set up to deter it. We are raised in a world where a person is defined and defines themselves largely by the religion they join, which side of the political spectrum they're on, and the school they went to, and whatever groups they're a part of. Very little importance is attributed to who we are as individuals. When a person is describing themselves, they'll think, I am a Christian, or I am a Republican, or I am a college graduate, or I am a truther, or I am a janitor at the shelter for pickled weasels. I believe that all of these structures are designed to place people into templates that control how they view and act in this reality. If you want to control the minds of a whole population, you must prevent them from thinking for themselves. To do this, you must think and define all aspects of reality for them. They must be forced in a prison of mental and spiritual conformism that they must not know exists. You must put everyone through a school system for their entire child to young adult lives, giving them your version of history, your version of science, your version of everything that you want them to think they know. You must put people in a church system to feed them your version of spirituality and your version of right and wrong. This is textbook brainwashing, no different from what we're told is a crazy cult. However, since the whole planet is going through the same process, it is labeled as common sense.
What's this? Messianic cult moves to flat point. Cult? I don't like the sound of that. What kind of maniac would attempt to control fresh young minds? Attention! Iris, hit it. Hearken to my voice. An insidious cult is intent on controlling your actions. I command you to avoid it at all cost. That is all. One more thing. That is all.
I believe people fall into the system so easily because it pulls us in by our natural human desires, which are our greatest gifts being used against us. Of course our desires vary from person to person, but generally I'm sure you'll find this to be true. Many people have this inner desire to be good and spiritual, so what other choice do they have other than to join a religion template? Nothing else is visible as a viable path to the common man. Religion is there for those who desire to be good and spiritual. The Green Movement is there for those who desire to live with the earth. The Truth Movement is there for those who desire to be free and know the truth. The Love and Lighters are there for those who desire to live peacefully. If you remember in Conan, they were really just willing slaves of the Lizard Man.
Come to me, my child. That is strength, boy. That is power.
Each of these groups and structures is completely controlled and is designed not to further what they claim, but to manipulate everyone and force them into templates. The manipulation is with us our whole lives and starts as soon as we make it here. Every parent has a natural desire to bring their child up with the same understandings and templates that they are a part of. This is where the manipulation begins. I believe this is the reason why it's considered normal for teenagers to rebel against their parents. They have a need to break out of their boxes their parents are forcing on them with hammer and nails. So from a very early age, we're taught from our parents to find the answers from other people instead of trying to learn for ourselves. We're conditioned to believe that because something is spoken in a news program or written in a school textbook, it is truth. We're told that knowledge is acquired not from searching ourselves, but from our teachers, preachers, and television news programs, and that's all they're doing anyway, programming us. Comparable to how a computer engineer inserts a program into a robot to allow it to function, humans are being given all this programming that they adopt for themselves and structure their reality and lives around. So instead of each individual taking control of their own life journey, most people's whole journey is being run completely by their programming. People are conditioned to look to someone else to lead, represent, and make decisions for them. This is the whole point of our politicians and royal leading elite, but I think of them as nothing more than the named faces. These are the people I would call the engineers set up to program their audience. These people are usually highly intelligent with a powerful and charismatic presence, making it easier for others to latch on and start listening to everything they say. These are the teachers, preachers, and politicians. These are the people in radio and news. These are all of our entertainers and our figureheads representing the wake-up community. These are the YouTubers, including myself, trying to get others to see their perspective. Most of these people are completely unaware of the system and how deep it goes and are merely repeating what they're told to or what they believe to be right. However, there are people who are completely aware of the system and are in fact purposely furthering the agenda.
Don't you know anything about Fantasia? It's the world of human fantasy. Every part, every creature of it is a piece of the dreams and hopes of mankind. Therefore, it has no boundary.
But why is Fantasia dying then?
Because people have begun to lose their hopes and forget their dreams. So the nothing grows stronger.
What is the nothing?
It's the emptiness that's left. It is like a despair, destroying this world. And I have been trying to help it.
But why?
Because people who have no hopes are easy to control. And whoever has the control has the power.
The end result is to place each and every individual on this planet into controllable pre-made templates instead of allowing them to figure anything out on their own. It's to choose their path for them by giving them options instead of letting them think anything is possible. For example, let's say Squiggles comes to this planet with a natural desire to be one with the Earth. She grows up taking environmental classes and joins environmental groups. She watches environmental shows and agrees with environmental people. By the time she is an adult, she has gotten absolutely nothing done to support her cause, and instead is an environmental groupie, following every Al Gore she can find and whining with all her new friends about how mankind needs to be destroyed. None of these groups and classes she is a part of are there to help her get anywhere. Instead, the only effect they have on her is to hold her in place, to keep her from acting herself and keep her in line with all the others. Or let's say Mr. Pickle wants to be good and spiritual and help mankind to the best of his ability. He joins the church and buys into the faith and patriotism programming. He loves playing his army video games and decides to join the war to fight for God and country. Next thing you know, instead of helping anybody, he's bragging to his friends about how many people he's killed. His religion teaches that killing is wrong, but killing for God and country is right, and is in fact a very honorable action to take. His original path was one to help others, but through faith and patriotism programming, he was shifted completely off that track. Neither Mr. Pickle nor Squiggles nor anyone else is truly choosing their own path themselves. This system is not there to affect the few or the many. It is a system set up to program each and every individual.
You know, we were so envious when man was given free will. But what has it brought them? The belief that their lives are determined by everything other than their own will. And the right to vote.
These are the people of the Matrix. All of these people making all decisions based on their programming or which templates they have applied themselves to. They live their whole life according to this Saturnian system, and in doing so are giving up the most important part of their individuality, their own free will.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was. Look again.
Those that are so entrapped by the system will attack anyone who brings out information that goes against what they've been taught again and again throughout their lives. Anything from instant denial to name-calling to sudden bursts of anger, many of whom you will find on YouTube with a variety of insults. Only by thinking for yourself and constantly being discerning of everything every person says do you avoid falling into a trap. Only by getting your own personal perspective do you allow yourself to learn instead of fall in line and avoid becoming just another repeater. It doesn't matter if the speaker is telling the truth or deliberately trying to misinform. If you're not using your own thought process, you're not really learning anything and not really getting anywhere.
So, it's a kind of a game.
No, it's not.
No, maybe it is. Maybe that's what this is about. Who wins the game?
I think she's onto something.
Agent Reyes, you can't reduce complex factors, physical and psychological, into a game.
You're a scientist, Agent Scully. Your world is ruled by numbers. Atoms, molecules, periodicity.
Wow.
And wouldn't it follow that everything made from those things is ruled by numbers too? Genes, chromosomes, us, the universe.
Go, girl.
Agent Reyes, that is utter nonsense, okay? It would mean that all we are checkers on a checkerboard being moved around by some forces completely outside and unbeknownst to us.
What did Einstein say?
Einstein, now there's a winner.
God does not play dice with the universe.
Nor does he play checkers. Look, Agent Reyes, you can't reduce all of life, all creation, every piece of art, architecture, music, literature into a game of win or lose.
Why not? Maybe the winners are those who play the game better. Those who see the patterns and the connections like we're doing right now.
Very well.
We're not restricted to have to believe something somebody else has already said before. Each and every viewpoint is valid. There are no right answers. However, I believe that there is a huge restriction placed on each and every person who believes absolutely that their view is the correct one.
Most people live life on the path we set for them, too afraid to explore any other. But once in a while, people like you come along who knock down all the obstacles we put in your way. People who realize free will is a gift you'll never know how to use until you fight for it. I think that's the chairman's real plan. That maybe one day, we won't write the plan. You will.